I just exist.
I figure it. I wake up. I figure it out.
You know, waking up's the first step. Okay, anyway.
Sometimes in my life, I think about, like, what if I just took a swing?
What if
You know what I mean?
Swing is crazy.
Like, what if...
Wow, I'm really incredible.
I'm actually that girl.
Hello, it is Juju, and we are back with another episode of Juju's Jungle. I'm on the move again. I am not in my jungle, but I am... Say what more? What? I'm somewhere, and I'm with my good friend Jordyn. She doesn't know what she does, but we're gonna figure that out today. Hey, Jordyn.
Midlife crisis.
Dude, honestly though, same.
Do you not feel like you're 65?
Yeah.
I feel like we came out of COVID, and it just they're gonna do studies on that.
I wake up most days and I'm like, I don't know
to.
who I am.
What did we survive in 3 years?
A bunch
Who
of
am I?
bullshit.
Who are,
Also,
who's anybody at this moment, really?
Okay, introduce yourself. Who are you?
Oh, I'm Jordyn. What do you want to know? What I do, who I am?
Yeah, who are you?
We just said this. I'm figuring it out. I own a consulting agency, so really my job is everywhere. I do a lot, which is exciting, but also terrifying at the same time. Like, I feel like you can understand as a creative, it's very up and down, and I mean, that sort of comes with the nature of LA, but it's crazy out there. So yeah, I do a lot of like front-facing stuff, a lot of like helping out companies on, back-end stuff and building out teams, and especially in the cannabis space, like building out menus and helping with launches and
marketing.
Yeah, a lot of
Yeah.
marketing too, campaigns, influencer collabs, celebrity collabs, like campaign stuff, social media work,
Basically just a little bit of everything.
Yeah, they sort of call me like the elevated concierge, if you will. I just sort of solve problems.
I love that. We'll get deeper into that, but first, let's get high. Tell me what we're smoking today.
We came into here so that we can smoke.
Yeah, so we are at the Astor Club in, is it technically Hollywood? I'm so stupid with
We're in a fight about it because technically it feels like West Hollywood.
Yeah.
But in like actual zoning, we fall under Hollywood, which is weird. Yeah. But yeah.
It's like it's like nice over here, so that's why people are like West Hollywood.
Yeah, you escape
because when you think Hollywood,
of, like the Hollywood Boulevard. I mean, Hollywood Boulevard obviously stretches over here, but when you get over to Highland, Vine, it's another world over there.
Yeah.
The performers, scary. The tourists, the regulars, the homeless, it's a crazy mix, and I could sit out there all day and just watch it happen.
The people watching is
elite,
entertaining,
elite.
But also, I'm so glad to not live in Hollywood anymore.
I forgot you did.
I lived in like the Hollywood
You
part
were
too.
in the thick of it, for sure. For sure. I'm kind of lucky that I'm a little bit on the outskirt.
Does it look like the audio's picking us up well? If we're both like kind of sitting back like this, we can just watch it for a second while we talk. No, I just want to check if we can be relaxed.
Okay.
Like it's hitting. Okay. The audio is the one thing I keep struggling with. I don't know shit about. So.
What about can you get mics that connect? Is that easier?
Yeah, but that's like not the podcast vibe, right?
But you could still, in theory, just have the microphones up here for aesthetic.
Yeah. I like...
So it catches it better, but...
I had an episode where I wasn't recording one of the guest mic correctly, and I posted a clip on YouTube, and somebody responded and was like, why are there two mics, but we're only using audio from one? I was like, fuck, how can you tell that?
Dang. Why are people so, just mind your business?
I'm literally trying my best.
She is trying her best, okay?
Okay, I got distracted.
Wait, hold on. Should I just talk for a second?
Just talk for a second?
Okay, anyway.
Just missed the whole intro.
What were we talking about?
We were talking about how someone called you out about the mics.
Oh, yeah, fuck that. Okay, let's go way back. Let's start with young Jordyn.
Oh.
You grew up in Minnesota?
Minnesota.
What was that like?
Day and night of here, that's for sure. I grew up in a really small town. I kind of giggled at Mason's when he said that traffic is like a 4-way stop, or what did he say, something like that?
Yeah.
Same vibe. Like my thing is always that, you know, we had like bring your tractor to school day, you know, like it was really small, a little farm town, if you will. And I grew up riding horses and being outside. And
You grew up on an actual farm?
yeah.
Fire.
I mean, I think like being born to, I want to say we moved to our farm when I was like 8 or 9. So after that it was, but before that I was, I had horses still, and I just boarded them at another farm. So
Nice. And then when you got the farm, did you have anything other than horses?
we had cattle for a little bit. We kind of were those people that eat meat, but then when we started like eating the meat from our like in the backyard and naming them, we felt a little guilty about it. But it was so nice because it's like you knew what they were eating, and it was very like healthy, but at the same time it's like it's really sad.
I'm obviously not a meat eater, but if I was, I think, like if I were to ever start eating meat again, I think I would only do it in those cases, like where I knew where it was farmed, where it came from, like almost like wild game, live game, like not. Yeah.
I mean, it's crazy what goes into what we eat today, just in general. Not even meat alone.
Yeah.
But
have you ever driven up to the bay from here?
Yeah.
Do you remember, Carly and I just did it the other day, do you remember there's a section where for 2 miles before you see this farm and 2 miles after you can smell it? And there are probably thousands of cows on this farm, and they're not even like on grass. They're in like these mud, like,
It's
and
not
it
a
just
way to live, no.
It smells. It was the worst smell I've ever smelled in my life, and I'm like, people are eating those cows that are in those conditions that I can smell for 5 miles away, like gagging.
The problem isn't farming; it's mass farming.
Yeah.
Like the problem isn't the fact that they just need to get treated better. And the conditions are awful.
Clearly the wrong way.
No.
To do
so
it.
that was the pro, but obviously the con is going out there and being like, "You're so fluffy," and then
Yeah. Having to kill it. Did you guys actually kill it, or you would send it to
No,
house?
so we had like a trade, with some of the farmers up there, and I think it was set up that they got to use some of our land to farm on, and they had a real cattle farm, so they just took ours and did it with theirs to sort of use some space on the farm.
We love that. That right there is a good compromise.
On the farm. We're a little more northern, yeah. A little more northern than southern. You're the southern.
Yeah, that was not your accent. That was definitely my accent. The Minnesota accent is something different.
Bad. Honestly.
Bad. Give me a bag.
Big. Yeah. I get clowned for bag. I don't even know if I'm saying it right. I get clowned for that word every time I say it.
I feel like you don't have that strong of an accent so much unless you're like, but if you like really get going or like something else.
If I'm drinking.
Yeah.
The ooze come out a little more. It's a little more oozies and
sneaks out.
Don't you knowsies?
Don't you knowsies?
Or I get conned on this one too. It's such a natural reaction out of my body. It's almost like a scream. Like when you're like, whoa, it takes you off guard. I say jeepers. Sometimes you get a creepers at the end too.
Jeepers.
Swear to God, as soon as I say it, I feel myself becoming my mother. But like, it comes out so naturally. It's not even like a thought. It's just like jeepers. Like it comes.
I need to start a segment that's like, this is a phrase. How do you say it where you come from? That would be so
jeepers. Funny. My gosh.
Yeah.
Goodness.
We'd be like, golly gee. Golly.
Does it? I feel like when you say that, it makes people how when I say jeepers creepers, I'm like, who would say golly gee?
Yeah.
Like, who the fuck says jeepers creepers? Who am I?
I want to talk about your horseback riding.
Oh. Fun days.
Tell
I
me
was
about
a Western rider. I was a little rodeo kid.
What did you do in the rodeo?
I barrel raced for a while.
Fire.
I did the poles. I roped
Oh, you did it
cattle
all?
for a little bit. Yeah, I was a real Yellowstone kid.
That's fire.
Yeah, it was definitely a cool way to grow up. I really, you get to a point where you want to move, and you're like, oh, I just can't wait to get out of here.
Did you like travel for rodeos a lot, like out of the state?
Not that far.
Okay.
Like I just do within the state.
Yeah.
It wasn't. I was okay, but I was still a little. I didn't have to go that far. No.
Yeah.
But they take it really serious out there. So there's serious ones even if you don't go that far. But it's expensive too. Like that's not.
My cousins did it. It's
not cheap.
Horses in general, like
yes.
my mom grew up on a farm. She always says like horses are the one animal that like make you zero money that has cost you money.
No, you get
like,
nothing in return from them. It's almost like a car the second you bring it out, unless you're
you
constantly
might get
winning.
You a saddle if you win.
I mean, don't get me
wrong. Not a saddle to sit on, just one to look at though.
When you get out there though, there are some big checks. It's almost surprising, like when you watch like a golf tournament and they get to the end and the checks are like millions almost.
Yeah.
And you're like, wait, for golf? And then you realize how big it is.
Yeah.
So there's definitely some good money behind it, but you have to be so good. Unreasonably good.
Like the dedication too, which is like, I guess, to be really good at anything, but.
Yeah, I mean, essentially. Who likes practicing?
Yeah, that's a lot of work.
The things.
I like to like recreationally enjoy a lot of things, but like dedicating my whole entire life to one thing, I couldn't do it.
Not recreationally enjoying everything. She said, I like to be 80% at everything.
Is that bad?
I just only quoted that because I don't watch reality TV, but I do because I love like a guilty show.
Okay.
So like Vanderpump did that.
Okay.
Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. But anyway, it was just an episode. And I swear to God, this girl was like, my husband won me over because he says I'm 81% at everything. Or no, I'm an 8.1 at everything. And I was like, that's
an
like
8.1
it's nice
at
in
everything.
theory, but like he did just say
it's a bit backhanded.
You're an
I just
8.1.
backhanded myself, is what you're saying.
Yeah, you're an 8.1. You're honestly though, like you let me be the one to hype you real quick though. Like you're definitely not an 80% at the things you do.
Well, I just think that
I couldn't pick up a camera and do anything you do, for sure.
I guess what I really mean is I feel like a lot of times in the world, like people say you can only be one thing. I keep saying this, but like I feel like people get put in boxes, and it's like I just couldn't commit to one thing because I like to do a lot of things.
No, that's why I had to get to the point where I just work for myself now, and I get to do what I do is because I feel like if I was in just the confines of like one thing all the time or a 9-to-5 and bless the people who can do it. And there's pros and cons to either side, but
yeah.
I know I'm not claustrophobic, but that makes me feel claustrophobic thinking about.
I would lose my mind. 100%.
No. If I had to get to that point, God forbid, I would just move home. I'd start over. Like just And I'm very lucky to be able to like have a home base to go back to, but I'm going to the farm.
Yeah.
I'm licking my wounds and I'm starting fresh. Like I am not
gonna go back home, ride you some horses for a while.
Yeah. Get a little fresh air.
Yeah. I feel like you are good about like going home and resetting though. A lot of people just like never stop working and just burn themselves out, but I feel like you're good at being like, I need to go home and reset myself.
Well, and bless my mom too. Like she's definitely good about staying on me and reminding me that like, hey, you need to come home. Like you need to.
Moms are good at guilting you into that.
Yeah, you need to come home. You need to see the family. And I do have, a niece and nephew, and I always feel kind of guilty. I feel guilty about missing any of like the family stuff back home.
Yeah.
In general, but it's kind of just like a shock seeing how fast those two grow up, and then that really reminds me like, such a sad note. Like my parents are getting older too.
Dude,
like you gotta, it's just like
the parents getting older every time I go home. I'm like, fuck. Because also like my dad looks incredible for his age, and people always
forget it.
And like have always heard that, but now when I go home, I'm like, shit, he's like definitely getting older.
My dad, bless his soul too, 6'6", 5'7", something like that. a monster. Like,
Whoa.
even, and he's older too. I think, you know, he's 73. He had me on later in life, and
Same
but
with my
even
parents.
growing up, I mean, that man could bench press like a fridge. You know, like I swear to
not a
God,
fridge.
he was in the YMCA, small town. He would in there just like dogging the kids, you know, like even the college kids in there just thinking
bench
they're
pressing the
thinking they're
fridges.
impressive. He's in there like, this is my warm up type thing. So yeah, I mean,
That's hilarious.
seeing it get to the point where they get, I'm like, oh my God, I gotta go home. I
Yeah.
hate that I'm missing it. But I do love that they come out here too. You know, just kind of touching back into how like I didn't travel much growing up. You know, they also don't. When you grow up in a small town, I feel like you kind of just naturally stick around there,
It's
and then
so
you either stay or you
interesting.
go.
Yeah.
Which you get.
Yeah. It's weird how similar all the small towns are.
And we're all transplants here.
Yeah. We all found each
I
other.
realized I was just gonna say that. We all just end up finding the small kids anyways. We're all
Yeah.
like, we want to get away, and then we just find each other anyways.
Yep. When was the first time you like visited LA?
So random. When I was younger, I remember this too. This was like when I put it on my radar. I have a cousin who is like he's a famous photographer, and my mom loves photos. She just loves every photo she can take. So for my 16th birthday, she wanted like a sweet 16 photo.
Oh,
So
hell
we,
yeah.
So we came out here,
Flew
and
out
they're
to
so
sunny
like
LA.
editorial, you know, like it's like
First
I
off,
got, like,
why do I not know this and why have I not seen these pictures? Where are the
they're
pictures?
hidden.
I'm about to find your mom on Facebook and
Yo,
message
they
her
will
and
not.
say, Miss Conway, can I please
They're
have the
so
images?
serious for being like 16. Like I got like like my shirt's like pulled in one. Like it's like I'm fully covered, obviously, but so we came out here for that.
These photos will be on the screen. I will source them.
I think about that though, like coming back out here, and we were so lost, and like Ubers didn't make sense, and the town felt so big. And sometimes I would get like little flashbacks to driving around and being like, I remember when we got so scared here, we couldn't turn around. We got frozen yogurt here. So
That's crazy.
I think
And
I was
then
16.
did you like after that trip? You were like, yeah, I'm gonna move to LA.
No.
Okay.
So, well, I mean, it was, like I said, it was on my radar. But
Okay.
when I decided sort of school after high school, obviously, it was a complicated situation. I did I did a weird thing. So in high school, junior, senior year, took full college courses.
Okay.
So I graduated senior year with an associate's degree.
Holy shit.
And I wanted to finish up at one of two schools, either UCLA or the University of Miami.
Okay.
So I was between those two. And then what sold it was both of out-of-state tuitions were mad. Just crazy. And so I was like, either way, I'm going to take a year off for residency, so it's not that damn expensive. And in the meantime, I got accepted for an internship at that aquarium down in Long Beach. I wanted to be
What?
a marine biologist.
What?
I know.
Okay.
My associate's is in science, and it's
Okay.
an associate's in science. It doesn't even make
That's
sense.
so funny.
Yeah, and I wanted to be a marine biologist. I did my internship down there, and then all the events that transpired after that landed me here instead.
That's so funny. A
I
marine
swear
biologist.
you knew that.
Maybe I did know the marine biologist. I mean, it does make sense. Like you grew up on a farm, you're always around animals.
Love
like
the ocean. You think it's
Yeah.
this like crazy,
Yeah.
which it is. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But actually, in kind of a weird twist of fate, I'm kind of scared of the ocean now. Not like going in it. I'll go in. I'll swim. Not like that.
Yeah.
But the mass of the ocean
Yeah.
and how little we know about it.
I feel like as a kid, I had no fear of any type of water and not the ocean. But like, now that I'm older, I guess just because I know too much, I'm just like,
I think
I
about that
respect
shit
you.
often. Like I imagine you went tubing
yeah.
on the back of boats and stuff. Like I
Mhm.
grew up,
Oh,
my
yeah.
town is directly on the Mississippi River.
Yeah.
We get launched off tubes in the middle of that massive river and sit there long enough for another boat to come around. Like, who knows what river monsters are in there coming up
I
to
know.
your feet.
Also, not to be dark, but I know a couple people that have passed away just from tubing.
Oh,
Remember when did you guys have the ones that flew? I think they're illegal now.
yeah, they go up.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like people would get just fucking launched.
And also, though, that's like, I love you, mom and dad, but that really is the time that parents like took out their anger on the kids, because you get
that is
whipped.
hilarious.
My mom used to do this shit where she would do like honestly donuts with the boat and create like a massive craziness in the middle and then drive through the strait. Like,
I 100% have whiplash from that shit.
Yeah.
1,000,000%.
Like, are you okay?
You're going so fast too. You fly off the tube, and the
reality,
water
it's like 20
feels
miles-
like bricks.
20 miles an hour,
Like it's
but-
not water.
No, 100% I have brain damage from that, for sure.
The amount of times I got the like air knocked out of me, I had to have at least been concussed one of them.
The amount of dumb shit I did as a kid, I know I have multiple concussions. I've broken my face.
Yeah,
so
that's what I was hoping you were gonna say when I asked about the horses.
Oh.
I was like, she didn't even mention her face breaking. Damn it.
Oh, yo, I definitely broke my face. That was not.
Yeah, we need that story.
That was not a fun day. I have a horse who's very good about any trail we're on. We can go on anything, and she's like soundproof. Just one of those horses that's like chill. And we often go on this road from a friend's farm of mine back to mine. It's not that far. And there's only one specific part that it's so far down. Like, it's like a steep ass drop.
Okay.
And I'm riding her home, and it had rained that morning, so everything's slippery.
Oh.
And there was a big tractor that was coming by, and for some reason, just everything twist of fate. And at that exact steep spot, she started backing up, and her back hooves slipped, and then she slipped. And I was knocked out on impact, but I came to very quickly, and there was someone up on the road who happened to be my brother's friend, small enough town. And who's ever passing, you gotta know him.
Yeah.
And she was like, "Are you good?" And I was so out of my wits that I was like, "Yeah, no, I'm fine." I was like, my leg was fucked, like, and I couldn't feel anything that was going on in my face. So I was like, "No, I'm fine." Climbed the hill, walked half-mile home, called my mom, said what happened. She obviously freaked out. And she's like, "We're going to the hospital," which, by the way, my small town's closest credible hospital, because you don't want to go to the hospital.
Credible hospital.
You don't want to go to the hospital in town. It's not Winona Health. We got problems. But so it was 45 minutes away. So from the time that like it happened to getting checked out was probably like 2 hours, and even that they misdiagnosed me there. So they were more worried about my leg because she had landed on my leg. And it was very bruised, and it looked all fucked up. And so they were worried about that. They gave me a MRI and an X-ray or whatever, and they said it was a hairline fracture. And I was like, that's not right. This is not. But they didn't, whatever. So I went home, and I told my mom for a week. I was like, it is not. It hurts. And I had to follow up with the plastic surgeon just to whatever. And we get there, and he's like, you're a perfect candidate for surgery. And I'm like, why? It's a hairline fracture. What do you mean surgery?
Yeah.
He's like, have you not seen your X-ray? I was like,
I don't read X-rays.
No, haven't seen it. And he pulls it up, and it is actually broken. This arch is broken completely inwards. Perfect. And it looks just like wheat. Instead of this, it's just wheat. Yeah, so he gave me the option, and this was right before I moved. Like, this was
crazy.
I was supposed to move when I graduated high school, right then in June, and this happened like end of May. So they gave me the option. They're like, we can either do surgery, which means we're drilling through your skull and your mouth, popping it out and plating it, or they're like, you're gonna feel like shit for the next 6 months. Chewing food is gonna be tough because you're loose, your bones are loose. Gross. But, you know, you won't have any restrictions for travel. You can still leave. Like, you just have to be careful. And I was like, yeah, fuck that. So I left.
Oh, my God.
And for the first 6 months of LA, it sucked. For real. I didn't know anyone. I didn't know anyone in the city. Well, it was down in Orange County.
I had a broken face.
Couldn't chew, it was miserable. So that was my introduction to California. Which, by the way, my mom and I took a really cute road trip, though, on the way out here. So a broken face during that, too.
She, like, moved you out?
Yeah, we drove my truck out here, and she made it. She's so cute.
Not coming from Minnesota in your truck to the big city of LA.
We stopped at the what is it, Mount Rushmore with all the presidents. We did that in the Dakotas.
Oh my gosh, fun.
And then I forget, we did a couple more stops, but then like the next one was we went to like the Hoover Dam and the Grand Canyon, and she rented a helicopter to go down into it.
Fire.
And I was like, Mom, what are we doing?
That so cool?
She went off. Yeah, dude, we went down.
She went off.
We went down into the canyon, and we went with, I think it was like 3 or 4 other people. It was like a group thing. We didn't know them. And then they set us like a little blanket, and they had them a little blanket, and we got to do a little champagne.
Whoa.
Which I was underage, but they gave it to us anyways, I guess. Thinking about that now. And a little picnic.
That's so cool.
She's adorable.
That sounds like a little clip in a movie.
I love her to death.
That's so cool.
She definitely wanted to extend that road trip out as long as she can.
Yeah.
I'm the only kid who left the state. She was bummed.
Wild.
The youngest and the only one who dipped.
That's the young one in us. We're like,
yeah, bye.
See you.
Bye.
Oh, you thought I was going to stay?
Be back at Christmas.
That's uncomfortable.
When I can afford it. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, might be back at Christmas. Chances are 50%.
See how rent increase goes.
Literally.
My rent did just get increased. It's absolutely asinine.
He was rent controlled, right? And then got a new property company.
But even rent control, it can go up.
He was rent controlled, and then they just canceled it or something.
Wait, what? They can do that?
It was once rent controlled, and now his rent went up. I'm like, isn't that like? How do you? Do that. I'm also probably telling that super inaccurately.
Maybe though, because there are like, I had to look this up to make sure I'm rent controlled. There are like things that need to happen. Like you need to have somebody who's lived in there for like 12 plus years or something. So maybe your like 12 plus guy died or like moved out, and it took you out of that qualification.
That's crazy.
There's like, you have to meet like a criteria.
Of course, they try to make it as hard as possible for you to actually
they have
make anything affordable.
Everything that they can, they have raised somehow.
Food at the grocery store is so expensive.
Oh my god, 100% that. I just meant my apartment though. Like the laundry, they
raise
raised like 50 cents on each machine. You know what I mean? Like a couple loads of laundry, I'm like $20 in, which is like whatever at the end of the day. It's $20, but like also it's just that. And then like they separated my parking and my rent, or not my rent, but my like apartment lease. They made them 2 separate leases, and then to pay online, it's a fee per each one, and it's just like,
wait,
y'all are getting me on everything.
Yeah, that mean it's time for you to go. That sounds like signs from the universe.
Though.
Yeah, you're in a convenient place for what you like to do.
I know. And my dog too. Like moving away from a park, literally entrance would just she'd hate me. I'd have to move to a backyard.
Yeah. Do you want to talk about what happened to you at the park today?
Bro. I am so like, I'm just at that point with like, I'm always the one that's like, people are so nice, like just give them the benefit of the doubt, but I'm getting so defeated by LA men. Yeah. No offense. There's a lot of you that I love, but like just in general, even like the most simple things, like I'm walking on a sidewalk and I'm the one to step off the sidewalk into traffic so we can pass on the sidewalk. It's even that simple that I'm like, what is the train of thought? And I'm not all like, oh my God, feminism, which I am, like, go women, but, you know, I'm not like...
Yeah, same.
But
we're kind of dogs.
You're making me step into traffic? Like, we're making dead eye contact, but that's not what happened.
So today at the park.
The park. So I'm in... Let me start this by, I have a bit of a reactive dog. She's a bit of a cranky old lady. She's not awful. She loves humans across the board, babies, toddlers, adults. Like, she's a human. I think she thinks she's human.
Yeah.
But she's not a fan of dogs. So we're in there this morning, way off to the side. I always take her out of the way. And the second I see another dog, I'll leash her up and I'll take her out. She has a great recall. Otherwise, I wouldn't take her off the leash. I'm not... My dog's fault isn't somebody else's responsibility. I understand that. So, anyways, I've seen this guy before, and he's given me shit for not, like, I was leaving one time, and his dog, he was like, oh, say hi. And I was like, oh, no, sorry, she's a jerk. He's like, dogs are supposed to play. And I was like, okay, have a good day, bud. So
sorry, I warned you that my dog...
Exactly. I see him today, and he's very far. He's like, you know, a good 50 yards, 75 yards away. And I see him, so I immediately start, like, realizing, okay, Moxie's got to come down. But she's going to the bathroom, so I call her over. But during that time, he's gotten halfway here. I hear him tell his dog, like, go say hi. Even though I know he knows who I am. I've seen him enough times at this point. And I was like, no, like, hang on, she's not friendly. I yelled that. She's not friendly. And anyways, unclips it. Dog immediately runs over. And I'm like, so I say it obviously a little bit more aggressive. I'm like, she's not friendly. Like, can you? And so anyways, he comes over. He's so upset. And he literally, first words out are, I heard you the first time, you fucking bitch. And I was like,
perfect. And then you still unclipped your dog. Sick.
It just.
And now I'm a bitch. Perfect.
It was the immediate change of energy and attitude and the way I would have approached it. Because the second if he would have just held his dog for 30 seconds longer, let me clip up Moxie and walk away, he could have had the whole area. Like I said, I respect the fact it's an off-leash area. You can have your dog off leash. We'll dip. There's a lot more spots for me to go.
Yeah.
So anyways, that's first response back. So my immediate response back was like, okay, uncalled for. I'm just looking out for your dog. Like, I have a reactive dog. I'm sorry. And he goes, then she shouldn't be in the fucking dog park. And I'm like, okay, do you want me to lock her in a cage? Like so my next response was basically just like, look, he's struggling to get his dog on a leash. I'm holding Moxie. She's obviously upset, but she's chilling. She's not doing anything. I'm like, look at the difference right now.
Yeah.
Like, your dog shouldn't be in the off-leash park. You don't have control of your dog. I have control of my dog. Let me walk away. He's still getting in my face, still calling me a bitch. Now at this point it has switched to I'm being racist to him. Cool. Because I'm not letting my dog play with him. It shifted into that. He said that I'm a racist bitch.
Perfect.
And I was like, okay. So obviously we're not getting anywhere at this point. And I tried to go past him. He, like, jukes me. I'm like, okay, you're not letting me leave. Still pushing me back. I have the wall behind me and the hill to, like, go up to the trail because we're not on the trail. And just pushing me back further. Like, I'm trying to back up. His dog's still getting on my dog. And just yelling. Just still, I'm trying to go. I'm trying to whatever. At this point, like, I literally posted that soppy ass story today, but I was like, your instincts start questioning yourself. You're like, do I talk shit back?
Yeah.
Do I
kick him in the balls? Like,
you know, 100%, like, is he gonna do something? He's yelling. Like, there's no reason to come over and just scream. He's obviously upset about something else. The racism thing came up, which I was like, I can't yell anything back to this. Like, I gotta let you have your moment for sure, but, like, where did that come from? Unaware. If anything, like, you're just a man screaming at a girl in the middle of a park at 10 a.m.
10 a.m.
What happened to you in your days? That's just ever. I mean, even if it was just like, even if I had said, fuck you, like, get your dog, and I was being a bitch, say fuck you back and walk away.
Yeah.
Just walk away. To get into, like, so aggressive mode and
what kind of dog does he have?
It was like a little, I don't know, it was a mix of something. It was like a
because
medium.
also, like, your dog's kind of big. Like,
she is big.
If I didn't know her and you were like, my dog's reactive, I would be like, oh, okay, and, like,
100%.
take my dog away from that situation. Why would I, like, want to even put my dog in that situation?
Yeah, and then, he said that my dog's a bitch because I'm a bitch. I was like mother, like daughter.
That's actually
and I kept
hilarious.
saying, I said that back too, and it made him, like, more mad. So I was like, oh, okay, if I talk shit, like, it's just gonna make him more mad. So I just got to the point where I just, like, dead stared him and smiled, and he just kept getting more and more and more, like, just yelling and huffing and puffing. And I was like, you know, why don't you just walk away? And he's like, it's a free fucking country.
Oh my god. Dude, just let me go.
He wouldn't. I swear to God, he juked me. I was like, okay, so do I run up the hill? Do I try to run past you? Are we...
So unnecessary.
Do I psych you out? Like, look over there and dip? Like, what are we doing?
Yeah, so
what are you
unnecessary.
doing with your... What is it? Monday morning. Monday morning. It was the beginning of the week. Give me a break, please.
Chill the fuck out.
Give me a break.
For real.
I didn't even start my week yet. I have so much shit to deal with. Like, don't make it me. Don't make it you.
Yeah.
Don't make it me. Don't make it me.
That's like road rage to me. Like, why are you giving something like that has no effect on your actual life so much energy? Like you're just giving something so much energy that like does not affect your overall life at all.
No, he hit me with the somebody should teach you a lesson shit too, and I was like,
oh, so now
I'd love to learn
for my life.
I'd love to learn, I guess. What can you teach me? What is this teachable moment here?
Oh, I super hate that.
That men need more therapy. Again, no offense, I love so many of you, but like a lot of you, and girls too.
But also like on the therapy note, not fully men's fault because it's like such a stigma, more of a stigma. I feel like for men to go to therapy than women, which is stupid. Like we both need it. All of us need it. Every single human on this earth. We all have fucking trauma and shit. We all need that shit.
Absolutely. I mean, and if it doesn't work for you, it doesn't work for you. Give it a try.
Yeah. 100%.
Give everything a try. Give like going outside and getting some fresh air a try.
100%.
Some people don't even do that.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, I have a headache, got my this and da da da, and I feel so lethargic and this that. It's like, did you drink water? And I hate to sound so cliche, but it's like, did you go outside?
Water.
How long were you
sunshine.
in fresh air today?
Did you stand up and walk around?
Are your windows open in your apartment?
Yeah. Are the blinds open?
The blind! Dude, it's sometimes, oh my God. Sometimes when I walk into apartments, like my friends' apartments, and all their overhead lights are on and everything's closed up, I'm like, are you good?
Yeah, that's not for me.
And not a single house plant?
I feel like I'm suffocating.
You
Absolutely
good? Not. White overhead lights?
Are you good?
And no. Like I'm in a hospital right now. Are you okay?
We've been smoking this whole time.
I know.
When
I've
was
been
the
like
first
so
time
not
you
paying attention
smoked?
to.
I know. I haven't really been asking questions. We've just been blah blah blah.
No, I'm paying attention to this blunt. I've been just defeating the end of it. There we go. I think I got it.
Mine was fucked.
First time I smoked weed was an interesting story.
Oh.
I actually told my older brothers if I was ever gonna like smoke weed for the first time, I'd smoke with them. And just so coincidentally enough, before I moved, that like Christmas, January time, we went on a family vacation to Jamaica.
Okay.
And so I was like, okay, run it, like let's do it. Which now I understand products and like what things are.
Yeah.
We smoked straight hash bowls.
In
Jamaica?
I got wait in Jamaica?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
At our resort, we went onto the beach the first time.
Where did you guys get it from?
The security guard.
Your like older brothers.
Oh
got
yeah,
it?
I didn't have
That
anything.
is incredible.
I didn't have a thing to do with that process, but I did smoke it.
Also, pretty strong way to first smoke.
Great, great first time, but.
Yeah.
It got scary for my parents for a little bit because we're in an all-inclusive like resort. So it's just one of those things like I'm not leaving the resort, but they came over and they're like, okay, dinner's in, I don't know, an hour or something. So I go back to my room to shower, which like, I don't know if you had your first high shower and it was like another world.
I also just love showering high.
Oh my
I'll smoke
God.
a blunt right before I shower.
So I'm cooked. I think I spend 45 minutes in the shower alone. Like I'm supposed to meet them. I think I get out at 45 minutes. So I get out and my first thought isn't like, let's go find the family. It's like, oh, that was 5 minutes. So let me go lollygag around, like let me go whatever. And so it was one of those ones where like the second you leave the room, there's no service, so you gotta like go to the lounge, the lobby to get Wi-Fi.
Yep.
So I went to the lobby. I did a little scrolling. Again, 15 minutes in my mind. You know what I mean?
God.
Like time is moving so slow. And then I think like, oh, you know what? I'm gonna sneak a little snack before dinner. They won't know. How would they know? And then, not any snack. I'm gonna go to the ice cream bar.
Fire.
You know what I mean?
Great choice.
Little sundae, or their version of Oreos, and it definitely wasn't Oreos. They didn't hit like that, but I made a little sundae, and during the sundae, they found me, and my parents were pissed.
How long have they been looking?
Oh, I mean, we're probably an hour and a half in at this point, and I was supposed to meet them at 45 minutes. So, like, not that long, but long enough that they're so confused.
Searching.
Yeah, like, and two, we're in another country,
Yeah.
small town family. My mom immediately goes to, I'm kidnapped, I'm murdered, I'm gone, 100%.
Now, Mom, I'm just high on a hash
Yo,
bowl.
and my brothers didn't rat me out, so she didn't know that I was high, which, like, during dinner, it was very obvious that I was cooked. So,
Did she ever smoke weed, or was she just, like, so naive? Like, she didn't even
back
realize
then,
what high to weed
no.
was?
Back then, oh my God, no. Weed with them was, like, worse than alcohol. It was that gateway drug. It was you're throwing your life away.
Yeah.
When I switched from the marine biologist to, hey guys, I'm working in weed. I don't think my parents have ever been so disappointed in a brief moment.
Yeah.
Or a year, or
Yeah.
like 2 until I figured it out.
Mm-hmm.
But it took a lot. I mean, they were not about it at all. It was
Small
very
town, like, lack of education about it. People are so, like, even in Missouri now to this day, like, it's recreation. Yeah, it's recreational in Missouri now, and it's still, like, there's a stigma, for sure. More than LA.
We just went
By a million.
recreational, I think this last year, I think. It was very recent.
Yeah.
But, I mean, bless them. They're very accepting of it now. And,
I
you
love
know,
that.
they've watched that I've made a career out of it. And they're very open about it. And
Yeah.
even, like, some of their, you know, friends who unfortunately have, you know, succumbed to something. Like, one of their friends unfortunately had cancer recently, and they're very open to suggesting it to them.
I love that.
Which I don't love that they suggest, like, I send it or, like, get
Oh.
it there, but
like,
bless,
you're
bless
yeah.
them again.
Okay.
Bless their souls.
Well, now they can
They
get
suggest
there.
it, you know, and
Yeah.
they
That's
talk
cool.
about it with other people, and I think that's really cool that they do that, because again, it is really frowned upon. So even
I
still
love
now,
that.
like you said, it is still super stigmatized. So them even talking about it can cause uncomfortable conversations.
Yeah.
But she'll sometimes call me and be like, "What's the difference between da 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 da?" And one time she was like, "What's indica?" or something like
Oh,
that.
yeah.
And I was like, "Oh."
That's so cute. Mom, you might not want that. That might be a little strong for you.
Oh my gosh. No, she's dabbled a bit, but she's very against, like, putting smoke into her lungs. She won't.
I mean, that's not the worst, like, thing to be
She won't do
against
any
about
smoke in
it.
her lungs. And my dad too.
Yeah.
We've taken a gummy.
Nice.
We've found unfortunate doses sometimes, but they've
yeah.
tried it.
I, like, grew up on such the opposite scale because my dad is such a stoner. And,
I
like,
love that though.
Well, but also he definitely tried to hide it from us as a kid. But also he was such a stoner. We're like, do you think we're freaking stupid? Like, we're not
We
dumb.
know.
Yeah, we've known our whole life. We knew, we've known, we know. But it was so cute when
at least
I
he
like.
tried to, like, dad though, you know.
Yeah, because also back then it was way different. Like, now it's cool. We smoke, we get high, we love it. But when I got like my first, when I got my first like check from a cannabis company for photography work, my dad was so pumped. He's like, "Dude, you're getting like taxable income for weed." I'm like, "Yeah, I have to pay fucking taxes. Cool, Dad." But he was like, he thought it was so cool.
Did they pay you a check?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I didn't know if it was. Sometimes even the legal
was-
brands will still hit you with that cash.
No. Viola, they send it W2. Wait, what's in this? Is it a vape?
Yes.
Vapity vape, vape.
Shout out to Alien Labs.
Thank you, Alien Labs. Thank you, Alien Labs.
Blessed Ted Soul and his whole team. They're so nice. They're always gifting me goodies. But yeah, these are their new disposable vapes.
Okay.
Which, I'm going to be honest.
Is there a child lock on it?
Oh, yeah. So what I suggest to do, and you can see that I'm a animal. So if you take this off, there is a child
this
lock
part-
on
this-
this,
oh.
but you're 100% going to bust a nail. So just, like, take the corner and rip it. Because you got the nail, so it really just easily rips from that corner if you just go underneath the... But I don't want to break a nail, so... I swear to God, I actually recently broke one of my nails off, and they have the dip
Ouch.
over the top, but I fixed it. This is like a tea, like, this sounds fun. This is a tea bag. You know what they come in? I cut the...
Oh, I've
I
seen that as a
fixed
hat. Did that
it.
work? Oh.
It's this one. You can't
That
tell.
works. That's wild.
Yeah.
And then you like put nail polish on top?
Yeah.
That's
put the dip-
insane. I
the
saw that
dip
on
top.
TikTok and I didn't think that could work.
I didn't have, I have like, cause I just do it myself. It's just,
Yeah.
you know, easier that way. So I have like the little tips, but I didn't have any glue. So I was like, okay, well, do I cut them all off? And then I just thought to Google it. I was like, is there an easy solution? Which,
There's
to
a
be
hack
honest,
for
it
anything
did
these
not
days.
look easy. Like you have to like cut the shape and then you have to like form it to the, and it's hard. Thank God it was, no, actually, I did that with my left hand. I was gonna say, thank God it was so I could do it with my right. I just blew my own mind. I did that with my left hand.
Wow, I'm really incredible.
I'm actually that girl.
Oh my god, that's
I'm
hilarious.
No, that did not register in my head. I was gonna say, oh, thank God I got to do it with my right hand. Looking at my right hand. That's what happens after a blunt, everybody.
You get smarter.
I mean, I did it high, obviously.
Yeah. Well, I'm always high, I think.
I function at that level.
Yeah, same. I want to talk about when you used to be a security guard.
Dude. Some of the funnest times ever, for real.
Wait, how did you like get that job?
So random too. So when I moved out here, like I said, I didn't know anybody. But my cousin lived down in Orange County in Huntington Beach. So I moved in with her with the stipulation of like, it won't be a long time. She lived with her husband and so sweet, but had like an extra bedroom. And
Yeah.
obviously California spots are small, so I shouldn't be in there for long. So I think it was like 3 months or something, and I moved out.
That's pretty fast, so that's good.
I started working as a receptionist at the Massage Envy, which was great because you got discounts on massages and stuff too.
Yeah.
But one of the girls there needed to move into a spot.
Okay.
And then we needed a third roommate, so she knew this guy, which I was like, run it, whatever.
That's always how it goes.
Live a life, you know, whatever. And he was dating the daughter of like a higher up at Staff Pro, which is like the security company that does Coachella, EDC, like all the big ones. So we just got these jobs that we should not have had. Like there's no reason I should have a team of 10 dudes like and I run them at Coachella or whatever. But it was so great because it became almost like an act, you know? Like I'd have like 10 just beefy guys and then I'm the person between the cops. So it's like if they call over the bigger like, hey, I need a manager.
What was your job exactly?
Well, they patrol. I'd technically have to stay within my area, but like if something happened and I needed to go be like the manager and decide like, do we involve the cops? Do we kick them out? Like, what's the solution? It'd be me. So imagine you're a drunk guy. You've gotten into a little scuffle, whatever. You're getting held down by big dudes, and they're like, I need the manager to come over, and it's me. It's my high ass who just came from the main stage. Smoke, I still smell, and I would fuck with them. It was so funny, like, you know, if just that moment, like if they were being held on the ground, like I'd get down on the ground, and I'd be like, hey man, like you're really freaking out, and I'm gonna need you to chill out. Like oh my god, I'd be like, man, you're really having a bad time. Let's like change that. And I just fuck with people. Or I'd like go into blunt circles and be like, can I hit it? And then they'd realize it says like security, walkie-talkie, this, that, da. I love fucking with people, but I got it was fun. Like I made it fun, and I like to think like I actually did help people when they were, and you know, because you always get that one asshole who's like cops.
I was just gonna say like that's how people should be in that situation. Like as long as people aren't continuing to be aggressive or like what the fuck ever.
Smoke your weed.
Yeah.
Take the drugs. Just don't be an asshole. You know what I mean? Like we caught people who were really jerks, and those people. 100%.
Yeah,
you're
you
getting,
gotta go.
Like the people who steal all the phones, you know, like they cut backpacks and steal the phones.
What was like the craziest shit you had to deal with? Like, do you remember one thing specifically that was like the craziest?
I mean, there was a few people who did some crazy stuff. Like that one Coachella where the kid like took all of those phones. He had like a couple hundred phones. He was kind of like the first phone stealer backpack wise. Like that kid, there was one guy one time, he almost got away with it. He had a big duffel bag and
Big.
and he got called on. Like, they watched him sell drugs out of it, so they got called, and my guys went over to try and get him, and he ran and he dropped the duffel, and in the duffel was his wallet with his ID and everything in it. And it was just like, it was full of just 8 balls of
you
coke.
Don't keep your identification in the same bag as the
Yo,
drugs.
who's making that mistake?
Oh my god.
Who's like,
Rookie
yeah, this
mistake.
is a good space.
What kind of drugs was it?
It was just a bunch of coke. Like, he was just like, he was slanging it out.
Yeah,
Which, like,
slanging.
everybody's doing it. Again, if you're not the asshole who's cutting it with some bad stuff, we obviously all want everybody to have fun, but like, it's our job to decide, like, whatever. And he just ran and he dropped it, and he could have got away if he just didn't have his wallet in there. He just would have lost a bunch of product.
Yeah.
Which I imagine he probably had to answer to somebody else for, but
100%. He was in trouble.
Stuff like that. And then I just really loved, I mean, again, wrong word. Something I really made it a point to do was, like, you know, if you go around at a festival or concert, you often see the guys that are just screaming at their girls. You know? And you see the girl, and she's obviously all drunk, and just the mascara is running, and you feel it right here. You're like, I know that. I always love to just skirt myself right in the middle. And I'd be like, hey, man, you're yelling. This is a scene. You're causing a scene. I know you feel really big, like, you got a lot of emotions, but you're causing a scene. And he's like, if he'd freak out, one of my favorite things to do is, like, I always carried scissors. I'd be like, do you want me to slice the wristband? Is that what? Because I had 2 massive dudes behind me. I could talk all the shit I wanted. It's like, these 6'5", 280 motherfuckers are gonna, they're not gonna let anything happen. So, stop yelling at the girl. You want me to cut the wrist? I loved cutting up stopping fights like that.
How often did you actually cut a wristband?
I mean, they chill out. You would be surprised just how much power that line has. Because think about any festival. It's so like hard to get a replacement wristband. Yeah. And then they'll ask you why it was cut off or why you lost it. And you have to, like, come up with some reason. And oftentimes it's very expensive to replace or whatever. They quickly change their whole demeanor, everything. When you're like, do you want me to cut it? I'm like, no shit, no. Like, there was one time where he was screaming so loud. I watched it for like 5 minutes, and I was finally like, okay, I'm going. Like, I need to. She's getting just, it was so bad. And I go in there, and by the end of it, I was like, tell her she's the best thing that ever happened to you. Like, tell her right now. Say you're sorry for everything you did. And he was like, I'm sorry. Like, he was so fucked up. And it was so cute. And they hugged it out. And, like, she was crying. And it was so cute. But, like, I just love changing people's, like, attitudes. Yeah. I'd hate the people who are fucked up. I haven't done this in so long, but this trick, like, have you ever done this thing where, like, you can't, oh my God. So put your middle fingers together, everybody.
Wait.
Middle fingers, like how they can, like the flat part.
Okay. Just the middle one?
Yeah. And then connect all your other ones. So imagine you're fucked up.
Why was that so difficult?
One, alone to get to. But you can separate your pinkies, pointers, and thumbs, but you can't separate that one without separating your middle. You can't do it. Really. Immediately changes everybody's, like, when you're all fucked up and you're like, everything's
Oh, but you can't do it sober either?
No, you can't. You're sober right now, Jude.
I'm high.
Oh. Shout out to Alien Labs. No, but the flower is good. I will give it that. I'm giggly too.
Wait, that's hilarious.
No,
okay,
you can't.
One more time.
It's a tendon thing, or it's like a joint or whatever. Like, you can't separate.
Drunk people don't realize that.
No, and so they're like, whoa, and it takes, like, all the panic that you're freaking out about up here, and, like, you just think about that. And then they do that shit, like your tongue starts coming. They start getting so focused on this that all the, like, nightmare that you're feeling in that bad trip is like, oh shit, I can't separate my fingers. So it'd be shit like that.
A peacekeeper.
Oh, I loved it. And I was still so fresh out here, so it was like, I got to still be nice to everybody. That was a big shift coming out here, and, like, if you just say, like, oh, hi, how are you doing? Oh, I just keep it in the microphone. Like, hi, how are you doing on the street? It's almost like, who are you? Why are you talking to me?
Definitely not the Midwest, like.
It's not. am so used to being able to be like, yeah, how are you, whatever, or, you know, it's just like even just thank yous, or, you know, I was referencing like the doors or the sidewalks, like it's just it's so different. There's no,
I don't want to say common courtesy, I don't know if that's the right word, but yeah, like
it's almost like everybody's just, and again, I'm not from LA and this is like a transplant talking, but it feels very like everybody's for themselves out here, where even though you've got a bunch of your own problems and, you know, these smaller towns and whatnot, it was a lot of community. Like it was, even though you didn't know maybe that family totally, you respected the elder, or like you just open the door for girls because you know your mom's gonna be like, you're a piece of shit, open the door for the girl, you know? Like,
is that like Southern hospitality, or like, that type of thing?
I think it's just more like not big city, and not to say like some big cities around don't have that, but it's very everybody for themselves out here.
Do you think it's partially because LA is like obviously a big city, so people walk around like the streets and places with the mentality that like I'll never see any of these people again, but in like our small towns, like you literally can't go anywhere without knowing someone?
Yeah. I mean, maybe. I think I even find myself in those situations sometimes where like, oh, I could have maybe been a little bit nicer or whatever, and it's like, you're not, you know, maybe I do honk my horn or like give somebody the fucking, not if it's like, oh, I hate it. Not if it's like not
you
bad.
have road rage?
It's not
you
road
have
rage.
road rage.
I have road rage to myself in my car. Like I'm not gonna like swerve at you. I still let you in.
Do
like
you honk at cars?
But there'll be sometimes I'll give a honk. Sometimes I will give a honk. But I'm the motherfucker that'll stop 20 feet back and let you make the turn. Even if you cut me off, like I'm not gonna fucking get it up your ass. Like whatever. I'm over it, but I'm yelling shit at you in my car. I'm like,
so
you
you've got, like,
piece of shit.
Mid to high road rage.
It's just how
but
bad
not,
people
like,
drive out
dangerous.
here. How are you so bad at driving? How, like, in this city is it just such a close proximity of awful drivers?
I have decided it's because they've always driven in the city, so they've never been able to drive fast. So, like, back home I could drive so fast because the roads were open, so I know, like, how to... You don't have to brake to go around a curve. And also you don't have to brake to go up a hill.
I think that
and also,
there should be special driving tests for conditions out here. You should have I can drive in the rain sticker.
Yeah, I can drive in the rain sticker.
I can drive at night. I can drive at night sticker.
Yes.
And if you don't have those stickers, get off of the 101.
I know how to accelerate as I merge onto the highway.
I know what hydroplaning is. I know that I shouldn't make a sketch left turn in front of you in a light. I know that I shouldn't cut you off because you can't hit your brakes. I know that as a pedestrian, I shouldn't start crossing the road without you stopping.
You stop, look both ways, look both ways again.
Let this be your lesson in life. One thing I learned solidly out here. You are not the exception. You are not the exception. You are not the person who, like, is for sure always going to cross and not get hit by a car. You are not the person who's going to always get away with it or always be able to. Just learn that you are not the exception. And everybody's special in their own ways, but you're not fucking special.
And be, like,
you're not special
and aware of your surroundings and... Yeah. Pay attention to what's going on.
Look across the street.
Yeah. Pay attention.
Small town rules. There's an ongoing joke in my family. Like, we always reference this. So if you know us, you've heard it a million times in town. But my brother, Joe, had like elementary school or whatever. Like when you go home and you have your parents answer questions or you answer questions about your parents and bring it back to like percent. It was, one of the questions was, what's your mom's favorite word? What's your dad's favorite word? My mom's favorite word was love. And I think he wrote, like, I love you even. And my dad's favorite word was fuck. He spelled it wrong because he was too young. But, yeah.
How did he use it in a sentence?
Yeah, he just put the word.
Oh, okay.
he didn't know the difference, I think, between, like, I love you is not one word.
Got it.
My mom was frequent with that phrase.
That's so sweet, though. And dad was fuck.
Yeah, he used that in all different phrases. Fuck you, fuck it, fuck them.
So that's where you get your road rage from, probably.
There's no road rage to have out there.
Well, the anger side of that.
Sure. I can't blame them for everything.
Maybe that's a better word. I shouldn't say anger.
Yeah, for sure. But it goes back to like, the comment that you made earlier about men not having, much help with like their mental, or it's stigmatized or whatever. Yeah. That's something that really helped me and my dad, kind of reconnect in my older years and like coming to terms with, I can obviously be a little up there too, but it's understanding like he's 73. He grew up in a time that it was not even a topic. Yeah. He was the youngest of 9 kids in a very Irish Catholic family. Like he got his fucking head hit with rulers by nuns. Like there was and he just, he didn't have an understanding of it until his older years. And now we have long conversations about it, but it was finding sympathy in the fact that like he's a human being and he didn't have some of like the tools that I've had to kind of come to terms quicker with like maybe what could be, some of my struggles that I deal with. We get to kind of talk about it now, which is cool. But I love that. It let me be really sympathetic with like him to be like, he's just a human. Like imagine you now, I mean, he was older having me, but like even imagine having kids right now and like dealing with this and shaping them as human beings.
Insane.
I can't say I'd be fantastic at this moment.
I'm not ready yet for that. That's a lot.
I mean, I know like I'd do well because I'd like kill myself over doing it, but I would
for sure figure it out, but like
I'd fry my own brain.
Please no. No, thank you. Not right now. It's also hilarious how similar, I don't want to say like we are, but our lives are. Like my dad is 76. He is the oldest of 9.
76.
He grew up in an Italian Catholic family.
We're just like slightly.
I think that's why he smokes weed.
It's like the Parent Trap, like, kind of like we could be a movie
side of the Catholics.
That's hilarious.
I guess the Irish get into it too, but like
I feel like Irish and Italians kind of hate each other, don't they?
Maybe
we're mixed. We got beef. Cue the Italian music.
We got cue the soprano intro.
Fucking I'm pretty sure they got beef.
No, we're not those kinds of Italians.
Because isn't in The Sopranos, isn't the kid Irish?
The Irish are a problem.
And like they hide it or something?
But the Irish might be a problem in New York. But where my dad comes from,
he's accepting.
Where my dad comes from, no,
they all smoke weed together.
Is just all Italian Catholics.
He put everybody in the blunt rotation.
It was more about like what side of the city you were on from where my dad came from. Like they were the South Side and like they had issues with.
Oh yeah, I saw your childhood. Sorry. It's on Netflix.
I was like, wait, what?
It's on Netflix. What do you mean? You can tune in. I think there's like 3 seasons.
You know what's crazy? I've decided I'm gonna write a fucking book or movie. Maybe book and then something else can turn into a movie about my parents' life because they're the real Ozarks. Okay, we've just been chatting away, not answering my cards, but I love that. That means the conversation's flowing.
Cards. You print those.
Yes.
Every time.
Fresh.
Every time. There's definitely not a no card behind it.
Nope. No, there's not.
This is such a big hoodie, but we're just gonna.
This hoodie's so big. Look at this. Stand up.
Yo, this is. I think this is like a double X. Yo, and these are even real trees. And see, we even dress the same too. Like,
also, can we talk? We don't actually talk about it, but also
can we chat about
wild that like, country, whatever workwear.
You're coming to it.
Skirt. Okay.
Let me come to it.
It's wild to me that like country workwear is popular fashion right now. Like insane. We grew up.
Most of my pieces.
Carhartt.
Most of my Carhartts have been worn on a farm. Like I've done work in them. Even if they're ones that I've bought out here, they've been ones that I've brought home and actually done farm work in. Like my last pair of Carhartts, when I went home on winter, I chopped logs of wood and I stacked it with my dad. Like they're broken.
Yeah.
But yeah. I could,
Camo pants.
if I went down to
hilarious
his
how popular
hunting
camo
room,
cargos are.
if I went down to his hunting room and started a, what's the word I'm thinking of? Like a shop out of his clothes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
For days. How much camo he has?
My
real
thrift stores
tree.
back home are a beautiful place.
Oh my god. I think about sometimes just taking home an extra, or maybe even, I think the smarter obviously would be buying a suitcase there. But I think about bringing home or like getting a suitcase and just bringing back a whole thrift haul.
The
I
amount
love
of
a
just
good
like,
thrift.
Camo, everything, those
People who
kinds
hate
of.
on thrift are not for me.
I agree
Sorry.
with that statement. Also, not to be a negative Nancy, but I hate how fucking popular it is now because I grew up doing it, and
I
now
know.
the thrift stores are so much more expensive, and other people are taking my good shit I used to be able to get.
I used to sort of be like very independent. Like I only wanted to spend my own money and stuff when I was growing up.
Mhm.
I bought my car and I
Yeah.
paid for like a trip that I went on to kind of like study abroad or whatever
Whoa,
in
this
high
is
school.
huge.
Like I was always about that, and I started like proving a point one time to my parents where I was like, I can get full fits, like I can get it all from Salvation Army or whatever. And I used to come home with just garbage bags, and even for them, and then it sort of just became a thing that I'd go and do like thrift store hauls for us, and they began to love it.
Shout out my mom. She always took us to thrift stores,
it
but
so much.
I think we just did that because we were poor. So, but it's fire. Do you?
Oh, you're breaking it
do
smaller.
do you use the second roll in a broadleaf, or do you go one per?
I have asked this many times, and maybe
Look how
we
big
can,
my second unroll is. I mean,
maybe we can tag them in this. Maybe we can tag them in this. I've heard you don't smoke it, but
wait,
some
what?
people do.
Why? If there's a question that you shouldn't, we will wait until they answer. Excuse
I don't know.
me?
I've asked the boys, and I've been told no. But it
Interesting.
doesn't really make sense because it comes off very easily, like the first one.
I mean,
and it looks like one too. I mean, it's lighter in that defense. But.
I would argue that it's less processed. Like to me, this looks
Than
like
the
more-
outside?
Yeah, like this looks more of like a piece from a whole leaf, right? This looks more like a processed. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, well, Brothers Broadleaf, answer
Let
this
us know.
mystery for us.
Let us know. But for now,
I honestly only found them because, how did you know that? I found them through Astor. Through Astor Club.
everything, Jordan.
Okay.
It's cannabis. I know about it. It's tobacco. I know about it.
Oh, no. It's the part that I know, though, that you're just so opposite of that it's fine.
I mean, I definitely prefer a whole leaf. This is like just as much work. Just to
Okay,
get this fucking
I
lip off
loved
as cutting
leaves
a
for
leaf.
a long time, but I'm not going to single out any specific brand because I
Okay.
wasn't, married to one specifically, but there were some that I used specifically. I'm not going to name. But the quality control on them has gone down so bad.
I would agree.
8 out of 10 times you're getting holes, mold, the green spots,
Yeah.
and it's dry. It's super dry.
Mm-hmm.
You're just sort of like,
I would
I don't know.
agree with
And they're
that.
not cheap. I mean, they're cheaper than, a loose leaf or a whatever. I mean, I'm not buying backwoods.
It's like less
or-
processed, and that's why I prefer it.
Yeah, it feels like it, right?
Right? Is it not? I feel like it is. I don't know. But
I feel
will
like
say,
unless
I
you
think
actually
it's
genuinely
that.
know where they're coming from and
Nope, the pack.
what the process was
Oh, that was great.
and what the process is, then
Marty brought these back, and I actually really like it. I don't usually
Are they
like the
loose
pre-cuts.
leaves?
They're pre-cuts, but
Cream leaves.
I had never. I also the name is hilarious, and the other one is.
Cream with a K.
But look at them. They're
Turkey
like.
leg hut. I mean, it's just like they're sort of across the board now. Like I imagine this is identical to like a loose leaf, or like I think there's exotic leaves. Or
Yeah.
They all sort of look like.
Some of them stay
Oh yeah, no, it just has
more
a
or less
plastic in
crispy
it.
than others. I like the plastic too. I feel like it keeps them from flatter. I don't know. Anyway.
She said anyways.
I'll
We're
also
smoking
smoke
brothers.
literally anything.
We're smoking brothers.
Yeah, we're classy.
Is it classy if I said brothers, I guess?
We're smoking brothers. I'll be
Remember
smoking
for
brothers.
a while when we just, like, over and over and over, multiple times in a week, would somehow fit brothers into a conversation.
I call everybody brother.
In actual meetings, we'd throw a brother in there, and it would always land. They were never expecting it.
It's funny when somebody has a similar accent to you, you like use your accent more. At least I do. I feel like I definitely do.
I got a goofy ass accent. For real. I don't honestly notice it too much until like I go back home now, and I'm like, oh cow, like you can hear it for sure.
Yep. Oh yeah.
I can hear it even in my parents.
My accent gets thicker when I go back home too, for sure.
Absolutely. For the week I come home after a trip, it's so.
Yeah, it's there for sure.
Don't ya knows, and I get here. Definitely in the AGs and the EGs. It has become an ongoing joke even here. Again, shout out Astor Club. Even here though, that like I can't say any AG words without them being like bag is a bag, leg bag, like any of them.
Also,
or he always gets egg sandwiches, so he's like egg.
They love to pick fun.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, at least sometimes though you get like a good group of them who, you know, they're not actually jerks.
Yeah.
And
that's why I say pick fun, because I don't mean like asshole. I mean like
around.
Be little
and
punks.
then you get the assholes who scream at you for no reason.
Yeah. Since
shout out LA.
We're rolling up our blunt, should we talk about where we're at?
Run it. So
or you can talk about it, and I'll roll my blunt.
I got you. We're in Astor Club. Astor Club is it was a recent find for me too. It's kind of one of those underground gems. It's a New York-based membership lounge. So follow the pages. It's Astor Club NYC, Astor Club LA, and just sort of if you're interested in a membership, DM and you can get the process there. But it's a nice spot that's still tapped into like the culture of it, if you will. Mm-hmm. They don't sell out on who's kind of involved and stuff, and it's something that like it's a shitty thing to say, but like not everyone is allowed in, sort of thing. Like they want to keep it all love and all respect for everybody,
keep the energy
and
good.
So it's just it's a cool little lounge. Come and you can smoke weed, and there's always something going on, I swear, and there's always some different random face in here, and you're always gonna run into someone but definitely the spot to come and chill if you're just trying to look for somewhere to smoke. I mean, some of these lounges around here can sort of get a lot. There's a lot of different stipulations to it, and the products are not great, or it's just again, bless the legal market soul, which I said too much on this, but that I think it's 38% tax now at this point.
That's insane.
To pay imagine going out to a bar and knowing in your head that you're automatically going to be paying a 38% tax on your bar tab.
That's insane.
Would you go out to bars consistently? Like, what do they think is going to happen? And then that just goes back to like even deeper. It goes into the farms. It goes into like everything about it that people just decide like,
it's taking percentages
we're not
going to
do
it.
Pocket. It's every single one. And the whole system in general is ran by a circus. You know what I mean? I can say that because whatever. It's literally ran by a circus. Like, the regulations are crazy. They don't obviously pay attention to what's happening in the market, because if they did, they'd understand. Like, there is a massive problem in the LA market. Like I said, it's crazy to think, I'm going to go out to a bar, I'm going to go to a liquor store, whatever, and every time I want to drink or go out with friends or whatever, 38% tax.
Yeah, and how is anybody supposed to be able to pay for that, or like survive
consistently.
on that,
you know what I
that
mean?
income
Like,
cut.
again, I'm very fortunate to be surrounded by people that like I get to try products, I get products, because if I didn't, oh my god, I'd be broke.
Yeah,
I'd be broke just
Same,
from
dude.
trying to keep up with how I'm
how much you consume. Same.
I think right now, even like the blunt I'm rolling up, this has got to be 2.5, which like sometimes I'll get up to a 3, but
Yeah.
imagine going to a store and having to pay one, not only it's expensive as is. I think most like top shelf Ace, without getting crazy or without getting some of the names, and some people will come for me and be like, but this is this price, like it's 60, 70, sometimes $80, which is like an eighth.
Every time somebody like tells me they buy something from a shop, I'm like, how much did you pay for that?
So to just think of
It's
that
insane.
concept, say I roll up half of that,
Yeah.
that's, let's say $40, and then
$40
you're buying,
in a blunt.
yeah, you're rolling, countering your blunt wraps, countering however you're smoking it.
And we're smoking
whatever.
broadleaves.
Shout out products. But like, just think about that. That's a crazy thing to think that can sustain a market. Like,
Yeah.
how could anybody think that would sustain a market?
How do you think how do we fucking fix it? Yeah, right.
I mean, unfortunately,
I feel like
my theory is what needs to happen is I think the market is going to crash before it can fix itself, or it has been a talk amongst obviously the community in general that these bills are getting passed that THCA is being allowed to be legally sold, which is sort of like hiding under the veil of THC when combusted. And don't everybody come for me, this is just my interpretation of it. THC when combusted, lit or whatever, and probably in other processes, turns into THC. So you could have a really high THCA flower that's getting sold literally legally like CBD, and
But
the
that's
second you
different than
light
Delta
it,
8
yeah, because it's still within the
in the THC.
yeah, it's
Okay.
I mean, again, don't come for us, this is my knowledge on it, but I think once that sort of unmasked, if you will, that it is theoretically the same thing, and it's been doing fine on the market, and people aren't jumping off roofs and all these crazy things that these lobbyists and whatever are sort of fighting against cannabis to not be legalized. I think that will really push federalization, and I think once that happens, that'll be an entirely different ballpark and game, if you will. But
You think what do you think the timeline of it going federal is?
in my opinion, I think it'll be a big, think of how much that helped Biden in his race, was that he said he was gonna, make it federally legal. He was gonna pardon all these people. I do think it's a really strong leg to stand on in a race for presidency, and I think it might get put in, maybe the next election, or maybe within that next president's, presidency or whatever. But I think it's gonna happen soon. Maybe I think definitely within the next 5 years. And then Big Three will take over, the Targets, the Walmarts, the Kmarts,
That will be insane.
the whatever, the Apples, the whatever, you're still going to have all of your smaller companies and whatever. I don't want to rip this blunt, and I'm so bad at talking at the same time I'm doing things.
I think I'm going to rip mine.
But there's still going to always be those brands, but in reality what's going to happen is Big Three is going to come in.
They're going to have to evolve.
They're going to
Evolve or die.
They're just going to get bought up. If they've got any sort of leg to stand on and they have any sort of decent sales or, whatever, it's more than likely that, a big name will just pick them up and buy, their name, their whatever.
Not wetted enough. Mother bitch.
I know.
I need a joint paper.
Not the joint paper.
I ain't got no shame as long as she smokes. Last thing, is there anything you want to plug? Any messages you want to send out into the world?
Oh, jeez. Oh, jeez. Messages I want to send out. I feel like everybody had a really hard year. Like, this past year has been, like, absolute trash for a lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
And not, like, in one specific way, but just, like, maybe one really heavy way or, you know. I feel like there's so many people that did that I almost just wanted to be sort of known that, like, it's not just you. Yeah. It's not just you. Like, we all went through a awful year. And like I said, COVID is going to be studied at some point because it was something new every day. It was this to aliens are real to like this is going on. The presidency was crazy. The vaccines almost felt like it was a war. Like, are they being weaponized? Are they not? There was a war between people. It was like, do I even go outside? Can I breathe the air? Am I going to die? Is it 5G towers doing this? There were so many different things. Like, remember those videos where they were just passing out in like other countries and people were like, it's the 5G towers. It was this. It was, and literally the government is like, aliens are real. Yeah. And it was just like, you know, and you'd go on social media and it would be like the highest of highs and look at this cute little puppy and then there's this influencer is in this country doing this, and then, you know, just one more, and it's war, and just crazy. And I don't know how your nervous system could go through something like that. Right. And, you know, I think I entered it, if I'm not incorrect, at like 24 and got out at what sounds like prison time. Got out at like
Girl gang.
27 or whatever.
Yeah.
But think about, like, as a human, you know, if you're older, think about what you did during those years. Like, that's got to be, like, your last time being 20.
Yeah, we lost our good
like,
years.
that's when you decide, like, okay, I'm done being a kid and maybe I'm going to have a kid. Yeah. Like, I'm going to settle. Like, I'm coming up onto 30, whatever. Yeah. And now I'm, you know, I'm turning 29 in April, and it's like, I don't want to do any of that shit. You know, I feel like I'm just getting out of trauma.
So what's the message?
You're not alone. We'll figure it out.
Oh, I love that.
We'll figure it out in the next year. 2024 is going to be a better year.
I love that. Okay.
No, I know. I was just saying.
You're not alone.
Because, I feel like there's been, you know, it wasn't like, thankfully, it wasn't bad by any stretch, like financially. And some people got really hit by that. But, like, there was so much going on. And I was so hard on myself to be like, this is just me. Like, everybody else seems to be doing great. Like, they're all just, they got new things on their stories, and they're going on this, and they're, it's just like life is perfectly figured out, and they're working out 7 days a week, and it's just like, I was hard on myself for a lot of things, and it felt very lonely. And I just feel like, the message is like, bitch, you ain't alone. You ain't alone. 2023,
that, brother.
2023, throw it in the trash.
Yeah.
Throw that shit in the trash.
Why not?
Throw that
start over every day if you want. Fuck it.
And plug anything? Nah, I'm under the radar. Good luck finding me.
All right. Well, thanks for hanging out with me. Let's smoke these blunts. I'm gonna have to completely re-roll that. It's cracked in like 3 places. So we're gonna do that.
I just started rolling it because I feel like I can't talk and do.
I was rushing it for no reason. For no reason. All right. Thanks for chilling with me.
Girl, we just talked.